What did you think was going to happen between the day you started and the day you ever got to an IPO?
I did not think that far ahead.
What does the future of mobility actually look like?
First of all, it's got to be electric. Right? We think that's a no-brainer. It's good for the environment. It's where the world is going, and we're playing our part, for example, in London, to move it electric. We think mobility has to be shared. We're sharing this ride. We're investing in pool technology to get more than one person into a vehicle. New is we believe it's got to be multimodal, in that cars can't be the only transportation solution in cities, and we have to create other transportation solutions such as bikes and scooters. And I think we are at the very beginning of the personal electric mobility revolution within urban centers, and I'm very, very optimistic about. We think that transportation is going to go vertical, just as residential buildings have gone vertical, especially here in New York.
Vertical in the air.
In the air. If you've got cities in 3 dimensions and getting higher and higher and higher, you cannot have a transportation grid that's in 2 dimensions.
You often talk about Uber in the same breadth or context of Amazon in its early days. Mm-hmm. What's the similarity?
Of all the big global technology companies out there, Amazon operates similar to us in this intersection of the digital and the physical. And the physical world is complex, it's unpredictable, it requires more capital, it requires this partnership between operations and technology. And so we have a lot of respect for what Amazon has done. And just like Amazon went from being a bookseller to being an incredibly broad retailer, we want to go from car hire, essentially, to being a transportation on-demand service. We want to be Earth's everything transportation store.
Long term, does the price have to go up?
Long term, I think that the driver earnings essentially have to increase with inflation. And we have to use technology to bring consumer pricing down.
What do you think the chances that Uber Eats becomes a bigger and more profitable business long term than the transportation, the classic transportation piece of the business?
I think that it's a toss-up.
Really?
I really do think it's a toss-up. If you look in China, the food delivery business looks like it's going to be twice as large as the transportation business. So I think that the category is enormous.
And the trick, because is the reason the food business is such a good business because of the margin?
Because of the size.
Because of the
Think
size.
about it, it's 3 occasions, and the convenience that it brings to the household is pretty extraordinary.
So I'm going to go personal on you. When you got this job, Barry Diller was quoted as saying to you, "I really don't know how you got this job. No one even voted for you." Do you remember that conversation?
Yes, I do.
What did you think?
We were both wondering the same thing. So I think when I was in the running, first of all, miraculously, it didn't leak one way or the other. And Barry knew about it. I wanted to make sure that Barry has been, partner for years and years. He's a mentor of mine. So we had active discussions about what was going on, and we were reading in the paper about all the drama behind it. And honestly, until the moment I found out that I was getting the job, I didn't think I was getting the job. The only person who thought I was going to get the job is my wife said.
Did Barry think you were going to get the job?
No, of course not. But Barry, it was like a little game for us. It was an amusing, parlor trick conversation that we had.
So when you got the call and you told your wife, what did she say?
She said, "You owe me $5."
What did Barry really think? He must have been torn, actually, I assume. He didn't want to lose you.
He didn't want to lose me, but Barry, we had a conversation, and at first, listen, he wasn't happy about the situation. How could he be? But he said, "You know what, if I were you, I'd do the same thing." And the kind of person that he is he chose friendship over business, and that's why he is who he is.
Elon Musk says he's doing robotaxis, and he's doing at least some of them, he says, by 2020. You heard that and you thought what?
I thought if he can do it, more power to him. Our approach is a more conservative approach as far as sensor technology and mapping technology. The software is going to get there. So I don't think that his vision is by any means wrong. I just think we disagree on timing.
By how much, though? If he says 2020,
I think it will be quite a few years beyond. There may be some very simple tasks that are covered by robot drivers, but it's a simple task. I mean, the drama within the media is robots replacing humans, but the fact is that the better thing are robots and humans together. Hybrid is always better, and hybrid states can continue for a much longer period than you think.
what do you think the proper etiquette is for a passenger when they get in the car?
One tip as it relates to etiquette is, if you're going to get on the phone on a conversation, ask your driver, is it okay if I talk on the phone? They will inevitably say yes, because that's the right thing to do, but to respect, to show the driver respect, and that this is an environment that they're in, often for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, I think that's important. And then don't slam the door when you leave.
Outside of Uber, what is the technology that's transformed your life the most?
iPad.
iPad.
The Apple ecosystem, iPad, I live on that thing, and it's just a wonderful piece of hardware. We have our own autonomous technology, but we're also going to open up to any third-party autonomous provider as long as it's safe and we can certify that it's safe. We think that a hybrid state for the network is going to go on for at least 10 years.
Where do you think your technology is versus Waymo, company owned by Google, versus GM Cruise, versus Tesla? I mean, how do you think everybody stacks up in terms of the technology itself?
I think it's very difficult to rate the technology because we're not in their shop, they're not in our shop. I think that we own one of the top 3 R&D operations as far as autonomous goes in the world. I think the Toyota and Denso and SoftBank investment of $1 billion in ATG reflects the fact that we built an incredible R&D shop. Where we're differentiated is in our commercialization strategy, in that because we have autonomous and the network in one entity, we can essentially launch autonomous into a live network for just the simple and safe stuff, rather than try to build autonomous for every single use case, which is a really complex exercise. You know, we believe solve the simple problems and then build from there, and we think that's a unique strategy as it relates to autonomous.
You have kids.
Yes.
Would you put your kids in the back of an Uber without a parent?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. It's, first of all, it's against the terms of service, so I'm
So
not going to go against the terms of
So
service.
what is the age at which a kid can go in an Uber?
18.
18.
18. You've got to be 18. You essentially have to be an adult. So I think it makes sense in this world that you don't want to throw your 10-year-old into an Uber and say bye-bye. Now,
Okay, but what do you there are parents, I will tell you, I know some parents.
we're not talking about you.
I'm not, no, this is not asking for a friend. I'm really asking, no, I'm not, but I know parents that occasionally send children, 13, 14 years old, in an Uber somewhere.
We have thought a number of times about whether or not we build a service for that kind of parent, so that they know that they can send their 14, 15-year-old. It's something that we're going to be working on, thinking about, but today, you should go with your kid.